Oh, stop trading at like 11:30 a.m. I've lost so much money between 11:30 and 4. Most of those big losses I have are always between 11:30 and 4.
Now that you know that you are aware of that, you can actually take a step back, and once 11:30, you can really stop trading for that day.
I say that, but right now I have this trade open, but I'm winning it. Maybe I should get out of it though.
Hey everyone, welcome to Trade the Pool with another funded trader. Morgan today is with me. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for coming. Morgan been with us for almost a year now, a funded trader. She already passed the evaluation a couple months ago, like I said, almost a year. And she took some payouts out, and now she passed another bar and basically scaled the account. So we wanted to talk with Morgan about the process and share more information for you guys to understand how it's like to become a funded trader, but also in general about trading and what works for Morgan. So thanks for coming, Morgan. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Let's dive right in. We did an interview once, and you said you're fairly new to trading. Tell me a little bit about the path that you went through for the last year or so.
In August, I started learning, August of last year, I started learning about the stock market, period. I had never known anything about it. I kind of was turned off by it a little bit for personal reasons. And then I just decided, I'm going to learn about it. And I read a lot of books. I did some podcasts. And around December of that year, I decided to actually go in and start trading. I got a Webull account and I started doing my own trading. And in that process, I think I started pretty slow, and then it got a little heavier. And then I think within like 4 months, I had lost like $1,000, and I didn't like that at all. And I realized it was a very hard thing to do, trading. So I was listening to a podcast and I learned about Tradethepool. And I also had learned this edge, which was shorting pre-market gainers. And with Tradethepool, you can short these stocks. So I thought it was like a perfect marriage. I could learn a little bit. I could try with other people's money and see if I'm good enough to actually get a funded account. And I think that took, I think I got my funded account in July. So it took a little bit of time.
So
and now I've just been learning. There's so much learning to do while you're trading.
So let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, because it's amazing, first of all, that you did all of that, passing that evaluation, getting funded, getting payouts, passing the extra bar and scaling your account. All of those things is actually pretty incredible comparing to the experience you have. So first of all, I'm sure it's inspiring anyone that listen right now and, also doing it for a few months. You can actually pull it off if you believe in yourself. Morgan, let's dive into the technical a little bit, because I'm sure the guys that listening right now want to understand more about, shorting those pre-market gappers. What do you do there?
So I have different times that I like to look at these stocks and see if they're making some kind of high or some special number, like a whole $6 or like a $6.50 or something like that. And if it makes like a very strong run up and it looks like it's slowing down a little bit, I actually look at the level 2 and I see how it's interacting. I'll go ahead and take a position. And I've noticed that they can take major swings. So I have to put my stop up quite a bit. But I also have realized that if I don't put a stop, because these are momentum stocks, they can get out of control very quickly. So I have to put a stop and then just accept the loss, which is a hard thing to do.
Although it not necessarily means that you made the mistake, but the market moves in mysterious ways, right?
Yeah, sometimes it literally hits my stop on the cent and then it goes back down like $3, and it's really hard to bite that. But.
So in those situations, what do you do? I mean, you see those trades coming over and over again, right? Some of them will call it stop hunting. It's a super well-known term, right? When market makers or algos go and look for those stops. what do you do? How do you learn from it? Because you're an incredible learner, obviously, because you did all this in a year. So we can understand that you have the ability to learn fast and adapt. What do you do when you're in this situation, basically?
I like to go back and analyze where I got in and, where it hit my stop. So I sit and I actually look at it for a minute and I rethink, like, if I could have done this or that. And a lot of the times when it hits my stop, I have a pretty tight stop. And I've realized I just really need to give it like 15 cents or something like that, a little bit more. But when I'm planning it and I think about taking that loss, I think that's why I pull the stop in a little closer, because I can't imagine taking the bigger loss. But probably that's like a sizing issue, which is another thing I've really been trying to work on, is like the appropriate size at the right time. But man, sometimes you can just start spiraling. like yesterday, for instance, I was up $500 and I started trading, I think it was DATS, and it was making one heck of a move up. But I got in early and I tried to short it and I failed. And I was too heavy. I was like 200 shares. I don't normally do that. And then for some reason, my brain was like, just trade it again. You're gonna get it this time. So I waited for the right timing and I traded it again and I got stopped out again. And now I look at my account and I was up $500 and now I'm only up like $200. So my brain's like, you need to get that money back. And I'm just, if I would have just stepped back, if I could just step back and pull myself away from the situation, I think it would have gone differently. But I got a little bit in a spiral and I ended the day with a stop out. So I lost like $800 on one stock. And that's happened maybe 3 times. And each time very memorable when it does happen. So for me, like, I've realized that my biggest battle is controlling my losses. So I need to really figure that out. Because if I could figure that out, even if I took like that $300 hit, which is a pretty big hit for one stock, I'd be up $200 today, But instead I was down 300 because I couldn't take the loss.
Yeah, no doubt. It's incredibly hard to do, just to step away, right? You want to continue to trade. You just lost a trade. The revenge feeling or emotion get the best of you and you continue to trade. And in most cases, like you said, you hit your stop loss, like the daily loss, because you just you're not doing it from a technical point of view, like where you really focus on the trading part, but actually you focus on the P&L more. I got to get this money back, like you said, 100%.
Yeah, my sizing was off, my timing was off, and I kept doing it.
Yeah. So is there any method that you're using in order to fix that, to work on it? How do you plan to improve?
Well, yesterday, after I got stopped off and kind of cooled down from the situation, which I'm getting an awareness that I'm just learning and I'm giving myself that space. And I realize that probably many people have these situations. So after I calmed down, I wrote down some rules, which I've had swimming around in my head for a while. And I hope to stick to them. It's very hard to be disciplined and stick to all my rules. But let's see. One rule would be only trade one stock twice. So I traded it like 5 times. Sizing. So the most I can lose in a trade is 105, which is exactly my max loss divided by 3. But you guys recommended. Yeah. So just little things like that. Oh, stop trading at like 11:30 a.m. Okay. I have lost so much money between 11:30 and 4. Most of those big losses I have are always between 11:30 and 4. So
wow, that's a great insight, from what you're doing, because now that you know that you are, like you said, you are aware of that, you can actually take a step back, and once 11:30, you can really stop trading for that day, or at least skip the lunchtime.
I say that, but right now I have this trade open, but I'm winning it.
Okay. That's a good one.
Maybe I should get out of it though.
It's always like that, it's a game of probabilities, right? When it comes to trading. So maybe this one you will make it, but on the long run, if you really see that your stats is saying that, you should stop trading at 11 or 11:30, then definitely do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Good advice.
So I'm going to share my screen and show you a dashboard. And for the guys at home to see the progress, a little bit. Everyone that joined tradethepool gets his own dashboard. You can see your progress on the evaluation account, on the funded account, of course. So here is.
Before we go forward, I am definitely seeing the benefit of the daily pause. Like for instance, yesterday, I needed that to just step away. So
yeah, 100%. And this is if we're talking about that for a second, because you brought it. I mean, in most cases, when you trade your own capital, you won't have that risk limitations, right? Those risk boundaries that can really help you in order to protect you. So this daily pause or the sizing, all of those things that we implement or enforcing in order for the trader to really stay within boundaries, basically. So this is something that when you trade in your own capital, no broker will tell you, it's stop for the day, you're losing too much. Doesn't make sense. The broker wants you to continue to trade. So yeah, that's a great tip as well. Alrighty, so what we're looking at right now is your dashboard. It's actually the one that you passed. So basically, this is the funded account. When you scaled it already, you're trading, for those of you not familiar, that's the evaluation account that you passed. So you trade in the mini buying power, which is $20,000 of buying power. You need to reach a certain target and stay, like I said, within risk parameters. That's a nice chart. 1, 2, 3 on the risk reward. That's pretty amazing. And your success rate is, I wouldn't say awful, because awful it's a negative word, but it's very low, right? Compared to, but the risk reward is definitely, compensating on that, right? So let's look at the trades a little bit. Like you said, you're mainly short seller, penny stocks. You can easily see that. So what you do is really getting into a short position. If it goes against you, you're out of the trade and then jumping in again and so on.
Yeah, I can jump in and out a couple times, but for some reason in my head, I feel like if I can just get in that one time and hold, rather than do a few trades on it, I think I would do better because they can be so choppy. But yeah, that's what I do.
So let's touch on that, because a lot of the times I see traders that are trying to hit the right spot, the exact moment where the market or the stock will go to their favor, right? Mm-hmm. But in most cases, it's not the case, because it's super hard to really time the market on the dot. Do you have any ways that you're working on to try to figure out when is the exact moment to enter?
I have noticed that I'm getting better about my entries. So I think it's just, for me, experiential. I know that a lot of people use different indicators and things like that, but I don't have any like set in stone thing, except for I look at the timing and meaning like the time of the day, and I just kind of execute and try.
Got it.
Yeah.
And are you using any indicator, by the way?
No, the only one I really use is the VWAP, because I notice a lot of times it will bounce off of that.
Okay.
That was going to be another one of my rules, was to, when it hits the VWAP, to get out. But again, I didn't do that today, so I'm a work in progress.
Yeah, 100%. And it's amazing. And the fact that you're making money while you're learning, you're not a professional, right? You're learning and making money. That's incredible. And that's a great
I love that part of this situation.
And so this is how it looks like. You have the evaluation, then the funded account, which you already reached the target, and some withdrawals. How many payouts did you get?
I've had 3 payouts so far.
That's incredible. Similar to what you have on your evaluation, you have the same thing on the funded account, right? 1, 2, 3, 0.7 in the risk reward, and success rate roughly the same, 25, 27. So also choppy chart, it's not a one like a trend, like a stock trend, very choppy. But once you get the rhythm, it looks pretty strong, right? It's always interesting to me when I'm looking at charts like this is what getting you to that point when you have a strong drawdown, like here and also in this situation.
I can tell you now how I feel. I don't know exactly about then, but I just had one yesterday. So I realize that I'm learning, and I'm just going to give myself that space. And I realize if I get in my head about it, it will extend longer. So I try to see what I did. Like, I sat down, I made some rules, focused on what I did wrong, and try to bounce back and feel a little free again to trade things. Because, I'm trading a little scared today. So the best trading I do is when I'm not scared to make a mistake.
Yeah, it's like building your confidence again, right? After that red day, especially hitting that daily loss, it's finding the way to get back on the horse.
Yeah, the stock market always humbles me when I'm feeling really good. It gives me a little humble pie.
Always. That's the beauty of the market. Usually it can build you and destroy you at the same time, right?
Right. Yeah, I was feeling really good that day. I was up 500.
And I do see a lot of our traders that on the evaluation, for example, reaching the target or close to the target at least. And once they get in really closer and they're super happy, they, instead of taking themselves out of the room and close the computer for the day, continue to trade and hitting the daily loss, for example.
That was the other thing. I was 300 away from scaling up again, $300.
Exactly.
So I was very, very close. Yeah. I think I just wanted it like right then. So I was going to make it happen. And it doesn't work that way.
It's funny because I'm trading, we have our mother or parent company, which is called the Fivers, and a well-known company in the industry, been around forever. And I'm trading there on one of the accounts I'm trading the NASDAQ on the index. And I had to scale the account to $320,000, and I only needed like $400 to pass, right?
Oh man!
And I had that feeling, the same feeling that you're mentioning right now. That, and you know, I've been doing it for many years, but still have that feeling that what if I'm clicking here and the trade goes against me, right? Yeah, interesting psychology here. Amazing, Morgan. So first of all, thanks for all the knowledge that you just shared. Anything else you want to give the traders, for example, a tip, advice for those that been in the evaluation, maybe failed it 2 times, now they're reaching the 3rd attempt?
I'm thinking that if you're new to trading, this is a great way to do it. You have the set risk. You could potentially make some money, and you learn. And I think the way that you have to learn is you have to trade. So it's nice that you're not losing your money while you're trading and you're learning. And I mean, maybe you lose like $95 or something like that, but not 1,000 like when I started off.
On your own.
If I could recommend to somebody that was new to trading, that's what I would say. Go ahead, try something like this, and keep doing it until you know, if you want to eventually do your own thing, feel confident enough to do that, because you have to learn a lot of stuff. I still feel like there's infinitely many things that I have to learn.
Yeah, 100%. And by the way, because you're new to all of this, how was the feeling once you got your first payout?
My goal was to frame it just as motivation. I've yet to do that. I'm trying to stay as neutral as I can because I don't want it to affect my trading. But I'm feeling very happy with my results so far.
Yeah, amazing. And I mean, you do have the certificate for those maybe that didn't reach it yet. All the achievements, everything you reach, either going through the evaluation and passing the evaluation, the funded, the scale, everything is under achievement. Once you click on that, you can easily download it and share it. But you can easily, like you said, just download it and frame it on the wall. That's a great achievement that you did, really.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for coming to this interview. Guys that want to check us out, go to tradethepool.com. And hopefully you will be the next in the interview. Take care for now.